Okay. All right. So as I mentioned, welcome. And and I see a couple people here. It looks like getting on. Um, and some names that I don't recognize. So again, welcome. And if you want to, if you haven't done it already, say hi, where you're from in the chat. And if you're not seeing the chat, mine lately has been coming up with the side panel open. For a while it was coming, like when I'd open up the program, it would come closed. If for some reason you don't see like the attendee list, there's a little arrow at the upper left, kind of in a gray tab, and that's the side panel, and you can open that, or then you can also hide it if you need to have more room on the screen to see. But that's where the chat is, and if you want to say hi, if you're new to Zentangle, we would like to know that, and if you're new to the call, we'd like to know that too. Not that we'll be on our best behavior, but it's just fun to know.
Just so we know we can warn them.
Yeah, that's right. I apologize in advance. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, sometimes I think we should apologize in advance for, as I would want to put on the door to our office downstairs, because for everyone that doesn't know me, my husband is really into radio control helicopters and things like that, and they're all over the place in our office. And so usually when customers come in and they're like, oh, and then they find out about it, and then they start talking about it, and then next thing they know, they're into the hobby. And I'm like, I'm going to put a disclaimer that says we're not responsible for any new hobbies you may pick up by entering into this establishment. So here, we'll mention, if we mention pens or whatever, just tease them. All right, so let's see. Violet, hi. Oh, first full session. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm glad that you got on. And sometimes, that first time is just because it's not Zoom. Sometimes there's a little challenge at first, and I know I've worked with some people on it. All right, Catherine, good. Not new to Zentangle, but new to here. So welcome. So we're going to. So here's what I'm going to. I'm going to share my screen in a moment, and I guess this is like the housekeeping. So I say that, and then my mind goes blank. So whatever you want to work on is fine.
Portion of the program, Heather.
That's right. The housekeeping portion, I need to have a list, is what I need to put it on my computer, so that way I'm like, and then, yeah. And where do I go from here? No. But so whatever you want to work on is fine. It almost looks like you're going to work on a Renaissance regular 3.5 inch
I might
tile.
have changed my mind. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So when I share the Tangle and we talk through the step outs, and then I'll show some other things, and I always try to do that if available from wherever the step outs are. This one is a Zentangle original Tangle, so I'll share some of their artwork. And then it's just however it inspires you to finish it. Some people are working on sketchbooks, some on scrap pieces of paper, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're just exploring the Tangle, and then our own creativity, just because. And so that also there is a struggling. Okay, so we'll Marcia, we hope to back on the backs of pizza boxes, Jen. We will hope to help you not to become a struggling tangler. So anyway, so we're just exploring the Tangle and having fun with it. Whatever you end up with is great, because that's the whole idea of Zentangle. We're not as I don't think I have to look and see if Diane is on. She always says, well, it's not going to the fair, but I'm happy with it. It's like, yep, that's it, exactly. So, all right, so let me share my screen. And then two, Cherie is my mom, and this is all her fault. So for those that are new, and we joke. It was funny. I was rewatching a video that I had done, and I'm like going, and I'm going to make a joke on someone, like, as I'm talking on the video, and I'm like talking with my hands, on the thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's just so silly. Oh, but anyway, so and so we joke and go back and forth because Mom has the art background, I don't, and so we have fun with that. We usually end up doing something a little bit different, and we got certified in 2015, and because we wanted to be able to teach it right and learn from the founders, and it's just been fun. And Marjorie, welcome, another first timer. That is fantastic, and yeah, and so we have our webcams on. We ask everyone to keep them off, and then also to kind of stay muted. Feel free to use the chat. We keep an eye on, and a lot of our our regulars are keep their eye on the chat also. Just because it's, as I joke, it's a little easier to hear sometimes just because of bandwidth and background noise to see the chat versus talking. And we'll do our best to keep our tiles on the camera. That's usually when somebody will open up the mic and holler, which is fine. All right, so let's share. We're gonna do what did I say? Arukas, which is as somebody pointed out nicely, Sakura spelled backwards. And I'm like, that's right. And it was done by actually Molly Hollabow at Zentangle. And I'll share her step out and artwork afterwards. But this one is neat because it seemed like I had seen it not too long ago. Somebody was either playing with it, or it was just on some other Tangle sites. And I'm like, I really haven't played with this one that much and need to. So I thought, well, this would be good. So it starts off with an orb. And, it's however you want to have it positioned on your page. That's up to you. The size, up to you. I was almost thinking a little bit bigger. And it's one of those where you kind of have to play with it, go through all the steps, and then decide if you think it should have been bigger or smaller and how you want to play with it. But so then we do the orb. Then we do some spokes coming off of it in the form of double lines. And it doesn't matter how many. This one has 5. And you'll see in a moment, it doesn't even matter. You don't even have to have an orb. And I'll show you that in a minute. And then it's just a back and forth of aura-ing the orb and then aura-ing the spokes. And just go that back and forth with those auras. And then you end up with what you see here. And the aura is just basically an outline. And then 2, you can decide, how thin or thick you want to have that aura. That's up to you. So it's not necessarily difficult. It takes I found it takes a little bit of concentration on going, on which I'm aura-ing. And I shouldn't distract myself until I've gone all the way around with them. But this is from the Zentangle newsletter. And you know what? Did I not put that in the chat, my own link? I probably didn't because I was just also excited. Let me go back and do that. Oh, wrong thing. Oh, that's going to be for something else. I decided to copy some pages out of that book, Mom, and I'm going to send those out for the class that's on Tuesday. So if anyone needs to use those, let me go back here. Okay, here's the link to my step out. And then I will also put a link to, let's not open up everything in the world. There we go. All right, and we'll look at this, and then after we're done with this, then I will put this link in the chat also, so that way you have it. All right, and it's nice because there's always a nice story, and then and you can see her work. But this is the then have fun with it is what I really wanted to show. So you can do multiples if you want, and using the Hollabow technique, and that was a Tangle from Molly, where we work at drawing behind something else, and I can explain that as well when we get to that, because when we're doing the aura-ing, we're kind of using the Hollabow thought anyway, and like I said, I'll show that when we get to it. But yeah, so you could do multiple if you want, and then for the when it's all done, decorating like she's colored in, except for the middle section, we call that the shine. every other aura, on the star part. This one, she's got a little, she's got the printemps in there, but I'm trying to tell if that, well, actually at some point it just doesn't matter, but starting off with the spiral, this one, with the pentagon, or just a square. So lots of interesting ideas. This one almost doesn't even look like it, but just
well, it looks like she did this spiral a lot before she started doing the spokes.
Oh, but look. So here's the spiral, and then she did one spoke, continued around underneath that one, and then did another spoke, continued. Oh, and then did this. This one is on that same line, and continued around a couple times, and then added spokes.
Yeah, look at how she added spokes to. That's very different.
Yeah, way down. So that's kind of, that makes me think of like diva dance, sort of, just in the, going around and then adding something here or there, and then, continuing. But yeah, so just neat ideas. Here are some more, and then in that background, you could, like, either in the center, you could put, another tangle, or like here, there's some orbs, having some fun with the shading. Oh, this one is, actually, there's a different tangle that this is making me think of, but I have to really look at this one down in this corner to see what did she do there. And
that is interesting.
Yeah,
because
it looks
like a circuit board.
Yeah, because it looks like I see a solid line connecting these three, but this one is going underneath. So just, that's where it's up to your creativity. Oh, and then this one I didn't even pay attention to, right here on the bottom, this little one, where, it's just kind of, it's interesting. Well, it's just up to, the individual creativity. All right, so I copied that. Let me stop the screen share. So that gives you some ideas, and we'll talk through. Okay, and there's that second link. And then we'll talk through doing it. And like I said, I decided I was going to try mine on black. And I was deciding if I was going to do something extra with the color, but for whatever reason, I like to just stick with the white. I shouldn't, but
I'm working on my Christmas card.
Are you using that for it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to see what you do. I'm going to use
the O for the orb. We'll see what happens.
She is getting fancy. And somebody had emailed, and I hadn't gotten back with her yet to see somebody that was on this morning, and she did letters, but she kind of, I was going to see if since she was on Facebook, to message me that, make sure she's in the group and post it, but she did like initials or something, I can't remember, and had stuff coming out from it, and it was really neat looking. So, well, I can't wait.
And yes, I did draw Noel in pencil first, and I do have little, just so I can see what direction I want these going, is in pencil. You're not supposed to do that, but I did it.
Well, I like to think when we start talking Zentangle inspired art, some of those, erasers thing, we can throw them into play when we're doing that kind of thing. I think I'm changing my mind. I'm going to use gold. It'll look like white on the screen anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, breaking the rules as usual. Oh, well, Alyssa, you weren't on this morning then, because she used one.
Yes, I do. I have it.
We just don't tell. It's all right. All right, so I'm going to do again. I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to start in the center, or eyeballed center, at least close to it, and then, well, And then I'm gonna, okay, let's decide on the spokes. All right. And I think I'm gonna try to simulate what I did before. So I'm doing two, do it straight up. Actually, if I think about it as like a person, because I was trying to get the spokes evenly spaced around, and it's hard when it's just 5. Yeah, and 2, I of course I don't have to do 5. I could just do 4, but then if you do 5, 1, 2, then you end up with 5 of the little whatever we want to call these, the star parts that come out. So I'm thinking, well, if I think of it as a, because when I was looking at something, I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like a person. Yeah, the other key is don't think about it too much. Just do it.
Well, I wanted to do 5 this time because I want it to look like a star. The one this morning I had, what did I have? 6? Yeah.
I think so, but what you did was neat because you had some of them stay within your frame and some go outside of the frame, and that just had, to me, that one looked like a present with maybe like the ones that are going on the outside are like
wrapping around, yeah.
Yeah, or it's like you're getting ready to do the bow part or something. I don't know. But.
So I had 8 spokes.
Okay.
And now I'm going to try to be more careful in drawing these lines straight. Because if it turns out anywhere decent, then I might just scan it and it'll be my Christmas card.
Yeah. Oh, Patty's asking, can you show your tile again, Mom? And I have to ask you should send it to me so I can make sure to post it. But yeah, so what she did, and I'm pointing on my screen as if you can see me. She started off with the 4 corners and the border, and then and I think that's neat. So it was like, yeah, 4 went outside the border, and then 4 stayed inside, and to me it just looks like extra fancy ribbon on a on a package. So just turned out really neat. Okay. And then this time I did find one where I aura'd when I I was doing a spoke. I'm like, well, look at there. I missed one time around or something, and it's in the end it's not going to matter. But
well, maybe that's what happened to Molly when she was doing some of those fancy designs. She inadvertently,
whoops!
did something else.
Look at how neat that is. Well, and this one, what I'm going to try this time is I'm going to make, well, it's apparently not going to be an even border all the way around. In aura, I'm going to make my aura around the orb aura wider, because I remember thinking that would be neat. And now I forgot who did it on the call earlier, and I'm like, well, that would be kind of cool to do. And I'm going to keep the spokes about even. Oh, and I did not explain. So for those new to Zentangle, I can just explain it. So like when I was doing the orb aura, and the aura is really just tracing or outlining, I should say. But the idea, like especially right here, where I have the pen, I'm going, I pick up the pen instead of drawing over. You pick up the pen. I like to have it travel as if I'm drawing, put it down on the other side and continue. And if if it all works well, then it looks like you've drawn it underneath, even though we haven't. But that's the halabow. There's a tangle called halabow that Molly had done.
And you should do it in continuous going around. Helps. You don't want to jump from one side to the other and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I think what I do, well, it's like in the end, it's not going to matter. But I think I was thinking I was doing like, oh, curve line, but it's easier to think following the contour of what I've already done, and then, and outlining that, and yeah, doing it in one thought process. Air draw, yes, air draw. I like seeing that. And I was thinking with this one, having the round, the orb auras, that's hard to say, be a little bit bigger. Maybe I could have some extra fun with that, or it just might do a little more on the Art Deco-y looking of things. But we shall see. All right, and I think I'm going to try to not go as wide as I just did there. It'll just be that one. It just gets harder when you have a larger space to that you're essentially going under. No, I think that this might look neat. And I'll have to add some color. And I like the simplicity of the steps in this, so that you're not, having to go back and look at what your next step is. It's just, it's like it's the alternating and paying attention to what you're doing is the worst. Is the worst there is with it. And some days paying attention is hard enough. I like this in the gold. I don't know if it looks like it's, no, it looks like it's white.
It's not, yeah, it looks white.
Yeah.
Ooh, sometimes when you wiggle it, or, and go from side to side, it shows up.
Well, let's see, and then I noticed as I have to do this again, where I shouldn't interrupt myself until I'm all the way through one. But if you end up getting distracted, in the midst. Oh, and Catherine, don't worry about lines being uneven. Look at mine. And we were talking about this earlier about somebody said well that they had shaky hands, and it's like or shaky lines, and it's like, well, as long as you do it consistently, then it's okay, because then the whole thing it's just a different look, and that's all right. And like mine, so like my orbs, it's like it's not as even if I was trying to be perfect, but we're not aiming for perfect.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. And this one is nice because once it's all done, then it's like, oh, okay, and then you don't even see it. So we, then we have to. What we all have to work towards is erasing that from our mind and saying it does not matter. And I think that's the hardest thing that we all have to do. Is that? Oh, let's see. And this one, I'm like, well, that quite doesn't line up with this, but that's all right. By the time you get all of these, the lines and things, it's you just won't notice it. And then, something else to add is, you get to decide at what point do you want to end this. And I'm going, well, because I made these so big. Oh, you know what? I could make them gradually smaller too. I won't necessarily have that star shape that I have on the other one. We'll just see what happens. What's fun about the whole non-perfection thing and not and not worrying about it makes me think of I was doing a recital for school and at Eastern, and my accompanist, there was like for those that are in music, you might understand some of the terms. If not, I think you'll still understand the story. I had the piano started, and I had about like 8 measures to count before I came in. and she had like a finger flub or something, and it wasn't anything major, but it made me lose count. And so I sat there ever so poised and just kind of, inside panicking. Oh, like where? Okay, well, where is she? Where can I come in so it makes sense? Um, and luckily before that, oops, look at what I did here. Oh, no, I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. After I was done, and I found a place to come in and, and it wasn't a panic and everything was great. And my professor comes up afterwards, and everyone's complimenting you. And prior to this, I had learned, because I think he told me, don't tell them what happened. They don't, just say thank you. They don't need to know. They're only, they're not looking at your music, so they don't know. And if they're complimenting you, just say thank you and smile, and that's all that they need to know. And so when this happened and we're backstage and that was so great. Oh, thank you. And Dr. Pierce comes up and he's like, good save. And I'm like, thank you. He knew. And that's all that mattered. But it was so funny and such a good experience to just first getting used to just saying thank you, even though you wanted to explain all of the places that you screwed up. But then just, it's like, nope, it's okay. It's over. Next time, it'll be different. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have to keep doing that too. Counting.
I'm like going, yeah, because and then so I'm counting and then saying, okay, well, all right, the last time I did the you see kind of what's on top, and it's like, okay, it looks like all of the orb aura is on top, so now I can go back and do the other.
Ooh, I almost messed up, but I caught myself
Ah.
because I'm doing under and over the letters, which is making it more complicated. Because some of them I can't see where I've been, and
right.
This will look much better when and if I add color.
Well, you should. I could see you totally like coloring the letters. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Although you could do the background and leave the letters white too.
Well, there's
you
that.
have to wait till it's all done and figure out what.
Oh, and I just saw where I did do something wrong. But wait.
But wait, no.
Not wrong, just different.
Now I have to figure. Now I do need a line in there. Okay. Now I'm okay. Well, in my Noel, it's just one line. It's not
right.
Doesn't have any dimensions, so I can write right over it. And this, I lost track of what I was doing, but I think I'm okay now.
Yeah, that's what as we were talking earlier. The hardest part with this one really is keeping track of where you are, especially if you get distracted. I don't know. I'm kind of, even though mine is really big, I kind of still liking it. And I'm working to go a little bit smaller with the auras going around. It looks like some of them I might be able to get to a point. But if not, that's okay. And one thing, too, that's kind of a good thing is, like, if there is something that you're like, oh, I totally goofed whatever up, keep it in your mind, but keep going. And then when you get to the decorating part, then take a look if you can find it again. Because sometimes I'll do that. I'm like, where was that place that I didn't like? And sometimes it just gets lost in the whole pattern, and you just you have to work to find it. And then it's like, well, if I have to work to find it, I'm not so worried about it. But too, if you decide you want to color things in, then that's where you could start. You're like, well, what course corrections can I do there?
Oh no.
What?
Oh, I'm working on a white tile, so it's not totally lost. Never mind. Never mind. Well, I was working on my bitty book this afternoon, and remember where I wanted to draw hibiscus?
Yeah.
And I was going to write hibiscus tea, and there's 2 of them. Well, I started writing on the one, and I spelled hibiscus wrong.
Oh no!
And I'm writing right on the tile. And then I thought, oh, okay, I wrote it out on a piece of paper. And so then I went to the next tile that had the hibiscus tea, and I started writing it, but I didn't. Oh, then I also spelled it wrong, but a different way.
Well, I think you should then take one of the tangles, and you should invent a tangle, and we'll just call it that.
Yeah. Well, no, what I'm going to do is like I did the little teacup. I drew it on an extra piece and glued it. I'm going to glue it on. I'm going to draw the hibiscus-like flowers and glue it over where I did the writing.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I solved my problem.
There you go.
And for the moment, it was like, oh
no, yeah. And thanks, Alyssa. Yeah, it is looking a bit more like a flower. Yeah.
And see, I wanted mine to look like a star, and the star is not.
Well, it will
yet.
Yeah, but I think it will as the as it keeps going. Yeah. Although, well, yeah, no, yeah, it's upside down, so it won't be an upside down star, so that's good.
Except.
All right, and then I've lost. Let's see. Okay, that. Oh, here he was doing this. There. Oh, here. Okay. But it's kind of thinking. Well, I mean, the other thing about this is it's like not really planning it, but I'm looking back. I'm like going, well, how? Because some of mine, it's almost like it goes out and then in, and it's because looking at my aura lines of the spokes, some of those are more narrow than others. So I guess if you were, well, I don't know how one could plan that, but I think it's the fun of not planning it, and then you're like, oh, well, look at how that turned out. Okay. Whoa, okay, well. Well, maybe this one I'm going to color every other, since I did that there. Don't look. Yeah, and this is one where, when it gets to the end, it's like, okay, well, exactly, but you get to decide where you want to stop. So I'm thinking like here, like, do I do one more round and then it's just really small, or do I stop there? I don't know. All right, then I'm all the way around. But yeah, as I said, you can, stop at any point where you feel like, all right, it looks like it's done. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Thanks, Alyssa. Yeah, nobody saw that one. And then too, so like here's like, well, if I decide to add some color, or the other thing is when we do shading. So when we add shading stuff, then sometimes just the shading will take care of of disguising some of those areas that were like, whoops, and then we don't have to worry about it. And then too, sometimes also coming to kind of like as it's getting to the end, it's like, well, if I think I want to stop here, you don't, there's a point where like even here, it's like, well, I want to take this one out a little bit further. So then I can just do the alternating just right here and not worry about doing one each all the way around. And you can still have fun with that no matter what. And just, do a few times around. And then if you wanted to have, one thicker, one thinner, there's so many options. And I only share that because I know myself, it's like, oh, but the rules, the instructions say this. And so I get real literal a lot of times with those things. And so that's why I like to share some of that, just in case there's anyone else like me. That worries about such things. Likes to make yourself crazy. Oh. I'm kind of like it. Let's see. Let's take this one. That's going to go right off the page. This one will be close. Now my little paper is now speckled with tiny.
Yes, it is.
Because as I go off the page, I literally go off the page. Oh, I'm really liking this. Well, I'm happy I started bigger. I wish I would have maybe cut those a little bit in half or made them even, but that's all right. Oh, okay, one more here. And I like too, Mom, how yours are. The aura lines are thinner. You have to bring it up towards the well, a little bit. There was somebody that did. I think it was Sandy, from Ireland. That hers were real. Her lines were real close together. Although I was thinking if you do it real close together, kind of like and you have a real light hand, then you also don't have to worry about it being straight. It just naturally kind of wiggles, at least for me. And where it's kind of like bouncing over the little bumps in the paper, and that can have an extra neat effect. Okay. Ooh. So now to decide shading. And since I had done it earlier, we'll do a quickie gem thing, because when you have a space in the middle that's nice and well, it doesn't even have to be orb-like. It is, it can be whatever. Oh, you know what? I'm going to. Where is my head? Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, if I'm doing a star, let's pretend that I was going to do something for Christmas. Let's see if I have a red, since I kind of have the gold, and tonight I will use colored pencils. Or do I want to use chalk? Chalk, colored pencils, chalk, colored pencils. Mm-hmm. The debate is real. As they say, the struggle is real. Okay. Although, now I've flipped back around the other way, thinking wise. Oh, no. All right, let's just try it. Talking to myself. All right, let's see how well these come. Oh, that comes off nice. That's a bit. That looks Christmassy. Ooh. Now I wonder. All right. What color gem? All right. So Lynn asks, what's the difference between the pencils you use and the chalk or charcoal I speak of? So here's what I'm debating. Regular Prismacolor colored pencils, which are a waxy substance, or because this is where I was going back and forth, or using a chalk pencil, which is I use the General's pastel chalks. I mean, there's like a bunch of different brands. And I'll go on the back where I was just scribbling and show. Is this green? Yes. So what's nice about the Prisma's colors is that like, do I know English? I don't know. It's just it works. They work differently. So with the waxy of the colored pencil, they kind of it stays where you want it to, and it's not going to smudge anywhere. Whereas, so here's make sure. Oh, let me get in there. So this is the chalk pencil. You can see it already. That I can barely see. So this is supposed to be grass green. This is a sap green. And the other difference, and what I'm thinking, and the reason that I'm going back and forth in my head is how they blend. Oh, and this is the, what is this? Oh, sanguine. I think that's more of a brown. Oh, no, it isn't. It's more of a red. At least on here it is. Okay. So if I was using the chalk pencils, then I can treat them like I normally would do graphite with a tortillon, and you can see, so I'm spreading out some of it. And what's nice about a lot of these is that the pigment is such that you can see it on the black. Let's say the dark green a little bit, the lighter green a little bit too. But the colored pencils, you can't use a tortillon on them. You use either, let's see, I'll do one side here. I would use the white, and I would end up, burnishing it, which you can see that changes the color. And so a lot of times I just kind of flip back and forth. But that kind of makes it smooth. But it doesn't blend and have that gradient. But so the chalk pencils shade more like the graphite, and that's why I like them, so that way I can do what I know already, versus this is just different when you have the colored pencil. The other thing with the colored pencil is I have these colorless blenders also, and I'll do that on the other side. And it's just kind of like a plasticky substance that, and you can't really even see it on here. Let me try it. Oops. Let me try it with the red. Yeah, so it kind of blends, but you either have to use the white to create some kind of a gradient, or you just don't, and you're just coloring it in, type of thing. So that's where in my head I was like, well, which do I want to do? And I just don't know. And now that I've spread them out, I'm kind of like, well, I think I'm almost liking the chalk pencils, just because I can spread it out. But maybe for the gem, I'll do the other. I'll do the colored pencils. It's just colored pencils and chalk pencil. If you wanted to mix them together, they're not gonna blend. Oh yeah, and so here, so this is, I did this with the with the chalk pencil. Where did it go? We'll do it again with that red. You know, and like I said, it spreads out, and you can treat it just like the graphite. And then two, you could add in graphite, so you could shade it with the graphite too, where you wouldn't be able with the chalk pencil, or you wouldn't be able to do that with a colored pencil. And then there's the whole thing of markers. And so if you have markers, you can also add that color. But something I've been leaning more towards the chalk pencils, just because it's, you know, it's like, well, already using that. Okay, so I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I'm going to do the chalk pencils.
And I'm using colored pencils.
Oh, okay, good. And so I'm just putting some color. And so if you were shading, let me show the other. So if you're just using, you know, white or whatever, you want to use the graphite, what I did on this one from earlier is I just put some graphite on the outside of each of those, the star shape, or the aurad orb part. And we were talking earlier, sometimes it's hard to figure out, well, how, where do I start shading? I just don't know. And that's one thing, like where pieces kind of connect is one great way. Or like on these rounded sections, you can put a little on either side, which I did. And then because I was using a tan tile, I could add the white charcoal. But if you're already using a white piece of paper, just putting some on either side and then leaving the natural tile color, you know, on the center, kind of creates that shine. Then two, there is you can color these in solid, like we showed on the example, where, you know, you could color in with the pen solid, but just leaving a gap in the center, and that creates that shine. Let's see. Oh, Mom said, you could put an inner aura in the O, and then and make it green too. I'm guessing that you're wanting to do a gem.
I'm going to do it red.
Do a red gem.
We'll see.
Oh, I was going to do a red gem on mine too. We're just thinking we're on the same wavelength. That's so funny. Let's see, because I decided to use the black, which, you know, I need to remind myself, it's always good to, you know, do these different tile colors, because sometimes questions come up. And now let's see. I don't know. Look and see. I don't know if you can even see that on mine. Oh, a little bit. Okay. And let's see. And there's my. I guess I was using that with the green. I might have to. Oh, well. And because I'm kind of going over the gold.
Completely unrelated, but apparently cargo pants are back.
What's that?
I said totally unrelated to what we're doing, but apparently cargo pants are back.
Oh.
For anyone who doesn't know what those are, they have a lot of pockets in them.
Yeah.
They're not really figure flattering, I would say.
But they have lots of pockets.
Yes.
Yeah, you can carry a bunch of crap. All your pens.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? This gave me. Maybe.
Somebody asked, Laura asked, can I explain the process? But I'm just doing what you just said, except with colored pencils.
Oh, okay. And well, let's see. Make yours bigger. I'm just talking to myself. No, well, explain the process of, and I can always add to.
I'll do it on the back, like
okay,
you did.
do it on the back like I did.
Right. Okay, now Heather used the chalk, and I'm using colored pencils. So the first thing, and this is Heather's method. She developed this, and it's wonderful. So I'm using a white colored pencil, and I usually do this on the lower, if you know, a lower part of the thing. And with the white pencil, if you've used it to do this before, you might want to, scribble it off to the side to make sure it's clean. And you can't see it on the white paper, but I'm really pressing kind of hard in this little orb down at the bottom. Then I have 2 shades of red, a darker red and a lighter red. And I'm taking the darker shade. I go all the way around, but just a little line at the bottom and a thicker line at the top. And not real dark, just kind of light and scribbly. Then with my lighter red, I'm filling it in and going back over the darker red. And just kind of, and doing it a little bit darker now. This one might not turn out as good. And then you come back with the white pencil and you burnish it. And it changes the color a little bit, but not much. But you go right over that white spot. And I say I have to put a little more red here. You can go, as Heather can tell you, I mean, how she developed this is that we've both looked at a lot of other instructions, and they go back and forth and back and forth, and this color and that color, and basically 3 colors.
Yeah.
And you go over the white spot because it's just supposed to look like a reflection. And then the last touch would be to put, as Heather likes to call them, the eyebrows in. But these are would be like the reflection of a window. And you can put a couple, you can even put some down here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Cherie, you're blurry.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. Well,
I can't help that.
Yeah, her camera. Yeah, we have to make some adjustments or something. It is just
You
blurry.
need to get her a new camera.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah, say one of those. It's a fairly new, but it's probably just an adjustment. But
I don't see anything on here that can be adjusted.
yeah, no, I think it might be in the settings.
Oh, wait a minute.
And the burnish is just going over it. It's like rubbing it.
But
but
yeah.
that made it blurrier.
Yeah, I know, but
Heather, you're kind of sliding down the paper.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you.
No,
Did that make
it look better?
Is that clearer?
Yeah.
It looks clearer to me.
Yeah, it looks clearer to me.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and so yeah.
That's sort of how you do it. Yeah. And then if you were doing something like Heather, well, you'll probably do it on that one too. But if you're, I like to draw when you're drawing different gems, and if I do turquoise or something that has little black lines in it, then you can take like a fine pen and draw, little lines. And I found if you do that and then quickly go over it with the white, it kind of smears it a little bit, and it just makes it look kind of neat. Well, that didn't, but it usually does.
Usually it does.
Trust me, it usually does.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think, yes, because what I did earlier was just with the white charcoal and the graphite. But yeah, so here I'm going to do I'm going to do the same thing, but yeah, using and well, see, and I was going to do red. I'm still going to do red because I think I'll do more green on the outside and might change. Yeah, and I always start with just putting something down to act as to resist anything else, and I usually go really dark on the very outside and then bring it in and then kind of gradually going a little lighter touch because I'm going to go back over it, and then sometimes I just scribble a little color in, and I'm going to use this colorless blender.
Yeah, I have colorless blenders, and Heather, I think you bought them for me.
Probably did.
And
I think I need to use the white.
I trip over them when I don't need them, and when I need them, I can't find them. And right now, I can't find them. I don't know where they are.
Yeah, it says,
Now
I
that-
mean, you can go back and forth on this just to get your colors right, but it's just, what I saw somewhere, it was just like every other, they had using a bunch of colors, and it was a lot of back and forth, and this is like, you know what, two pencils, that's it.
Well, unless you're trying to draw something that looks like an opal or something where you would use different colors, but that's almost like a whole different technique.
Right. I saw, yeah, I agree, Alyssa. Yeah, some of the tutorials are just overwhelming, and that's what we saw. And I thought, well, and then my phrase of, that's too much like art, and there were just too many steps, and I just wasn't getting it, and then it was just frustrating. But I really want to do this, so. But yeah, I'd say if you're wanting to do something specific, and I saw, and I don't remember where it was. Yeah, 30 minutes to do it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to take too long. We want to enjoy this, and that's what I thought. If I could figure out how to do this for me, then it's, and then other people can do it. I think I'm liking that. But the one thing that I noticed first off, as I was kind of just examining what kind of like the elements, and
just
a lot
an
of it.
FYI, it's 8 o'clock, and
golly,
the Grinch is on TV.
thank you. We got to
got
see what everybody did. So we'll just keep getting carried away, and we'll be here for 3 hours. But if everyone wants to open up their webcam so we can see what everybody did. And this one I just put some little straight lines. And I want to see. And then we'll get a screenshot. And Laura, let's see. Oh, go ahead. Oh, look at that! Oh, like Zelda's with all of the different colors.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Line.
Now, see, it's complicated enough to keep track of which line you're drawing, but then to have to figure out which color pen to pick up.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Oh, these are. Oh, wait. Oh, where did it go? Oh, Alyssa's with the curvy line. That is neat, and I like. And Linda's, I love yours. I love all of that. Sandy did with the spiral in the middle. Nice. Yeah, I'm saying just hold them up, and then or we'll wait till everybody that seems like everyone's going to get on is on, and then we will I'll snap a screenshot and share them with everyone so everyone can see what everybody did, so that way you don't feel like you're missing out as we're oohing and ahhing. Oh.
Violet still needs to get hers up. She's just a black Violet.
Oh no, I see hers. Wait.
Please hurry. My arm's breaking.
Oh, no. Oh, there. Wait. I don't see Violet at all.
I still just a black on my screen, but that's just me.
Okay. Who's it? Sharon, hold yours down just a little bit, maybe back up a smidge. Yeah, and then
Sharon needs to bring hers down.
I don't know which way to say.
To the right or left a little bit. Now go the other way.
Oh,
the other way. Sharon, the other way, and down, and the other way. The other way.
There you go.
A little bit more. Yeah, a little
bit more.
Little bit more.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, that'll work. All right, so hold them steady for 1 second. Oh,
and everything moved.
All right, got it. And two, if you didn't if you didn't get yours on, then you can always email it to me. And I got it. Let me share my screen so everybody can see. These are gorgeous, and I love such extra good ideas. All right, let me share my screen. This was so much fun. Oh, nice. And is it? I'm gonna mess up your name. Siva Priya. That is gorgeous. Let me hold on 1 second. Let me share this, and these are so nice. And then let me do a quick save, and I know what untitled means. And yeah. Well, this way we can all see that. And then anyone else that didn't, I can get it afterwards and add it on. But these are amazing. How nice! And I like up here at Alyssa's with the curvy lines. And I like how neat to add little orbs on the end. I never think of doing those kind of cute things. And when I see it, it's like, oh, that's amazing. Oh, and Marina. Oh, I like what Marina did. That looks like yours, Mom. How nice. Oh, these all turned out. So, Steve, I did get yours is on here. So.
You guys can't really see mine well, but it's actually a Jewish star because Hanukkah starts on Sunday night. So happy Hanukkah to anybody who's on the call who celebrates it.
Yeah, happy Hanukkah. Yeah, because I heard
Happy
it was
Hanukkah
this year. Yeah. Nice. These are all gorgeous.
How do you add your name to your screen?
What's that?
How do you add the name to the screen?
Oh, it's so when you wiggle, when everybody has their screen up, as long as I wiggle the mouse and snap do the prints, capture the screen before it goes off, because it fades off. It's just something that happens. So like even when I'm talking, if you move your mouse, it'll show the names of who's on the screen just for a few minutes. So I've learned to like hurry up, wiggle my mouse, get the screenshot, and then.
That sounds so funny. You just wiggle your mouse.
You just wiggle your mouse. Oh, these are nice.
Well, I'm not going to use it for my Christmas card.
Oh, well, I think it looks neat. Oh, you
but it was fun.
Yeah. And I like Jennifer says hers is like a double in the middle. That's neat. And I like, yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
And I like Deb's, which is just like, like I said, you could use any shape, and it is more like like an amoeba. How neat. Neat. Well, these are just lovely. And I'm marveling at the curving one. You
can really play with this with just the size of the spokes and the size of the orbs, and it just changes it totally. Oh, Jen is really neat she did a square one and a round one.
Yeah.
Or was one from this morning, or no, both?
From this morning, yes.
Okay. Otherwise, you're really fast.
Very cool. All right. Well, I just want to quickly, we'll end the recording. Oh, okay. My content share was interrupted. All right.